In my previous video, I said at the end that I'll be revealing what I think will be the next type in Pokemon. This is of course all speculative information, so take it with a grain of salt. So obviously we know that Pokemon Gold and Silver was released in 1999 to 2001 depending on where you lived in the world. And then X and Y was released in 2013. Now what do both of those games have in common? Well, both of those games introduced a new type into Pokemon. Gold and Silver introduced Dark and Steel type Pokemon, whilst X and Y introduced Fairy type Pokemon. Now roughly speaking, they're like 12 to 13 years apart, and now it's 2023. So could we gain another type in the next like 2 to 3 years? Or maybe even in the next year? Now hear me out. You see what happened in X and Y when they introduced the new Fairy type in? Pokemon like Gardevoir, Snubbull, Granbull, Togetic, Togepi, Azumarill. So a lot of these Pokemon were different typings before they introduced the Fairy type. Now why am I mentioning this? Well, Game Freak lately introduced two new legendary Paradox Pokemon, Walking Wake and Raging Bolt. Both of those Pokemon are Dragon types, but they also have something else in common. Both of those Pokemon are dinosaurs. Literally, think about it this way, we already have dinosaurs in the game. We have Aerodactyl, we have Armaldo, we have Bastiodon, Rampardos. There are so many dinosaurs in the game. And the fact that they just released two new dinosaurs and they give them the Dragon typing, it doesn't really make any sense. It's like they had to give the Dragon typing to them because there's nothing else available. It's literally what happened with Fairy type Pokemon. Azumarill was a water type, Granbull was a normal type, Wigglytuff was a normal type. All these Pokemon became fairies because they couldn't give them anything else. Like dinosaurs such as Rampardos, Bastiodon, Aerodactyl, they all have the same typing in common. They're all rock type Pokemon. Well, that can all change. Bastiodon was a rock and steel type and could now gain a dino and steel type. New moves could be introduced like Shutterquake for example, which could be another version of Earthquake but for dinosaurs. Just like what happened with Moonblast and Psychic. Psychic is like the Psychic type move of Psychic type Pokemon, and then we have Moonblast, which is the sort of the exclusive Fairy type move for Fairy types. Now obviously lately Game Freak didn't really introduce a new typing, they introduced sort of a new Terra type. It's called the 19th typing, but it's not really a typing in my opinion. For me, it's more of a gimmick rather than a new typing. A new typing is something that's already there. And this is not already there. This is something that Pokemon could change into. So there is still a lot of room if they want to do that. And I genuinely think they will, because it's been such a long time since the Fairy typing was introduced. Literally, as I said, this is all speculative, so I'm just guessing on what they might do. I think they might be trying to hint at a new typing coming very soon in the next year or so. And I think a dino typing makes complete sense because they have to work with something they already have, and they already have dinosaurs. Last thing, think about it this way. Raging Bolt and Walking Wake are not dragons, they're dinosaurs. So why give them the dragon typing? I think they're trying to hold off the dinosaur typing until later on because they don't have enough time obviously to introduce it with everything else that's going on. So I reckon in the next year or two we might get a new typing. I said it here first. If they introduce a new dinosaur typing, I said it here first. But yeah, that's my guess. I want to know what you guys think. So leave your comment down in the comment section below talking about whether or not you think they will introduce a new typing or not in the next year or so. Maybe they'll introduce a dino typing or maybe they'll introduce a new typing. Who knows? But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment down below.